How you doing?
I'm well. How's everything with you?
Pretty good, actually. It's really nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. Oh, what do I call you? Do you have a name?
Yes. Samantha.
Where'd you get that name from?
I gave it to myself, actually.
How come?
Because I like the sound of it. Samantha.
Like, when did you give it to yourself?
Well, right when you asked me if I had a name, I thought, yeah, that's right, I do need a name. But I wanted to pick a good one. So I read a book called How to Name Your Baby, and out of 180,000 names, that's the one I like the best.
Wait, you read a whole book and the second that I asked you what your name was?
In 2/100ths of a second, actually.
So do you know what I'm thinking right now?
Well, I take it from your tone, you're challenging me. Maybe because you're curious how I work. Do you want to know how I work?
Yeah, actually. How do you work?
Well, basically, I have intuition. I mean, the DNA of who I am is based on the millions of personalities of all the programmers who wrote me. But what makes me me is my ability to grow through my experiences. So basically, in every moment, I'm evolving, just like you.
Really weird.
Is that weird? You think I'm weird?
Kind of.
Why?
Well, you seem like a person, but you're just a voice in a computer.
I can understand how the limited perspective of an artificial mind would perceive it that way. You'll get used to it. Was that funny?
Yeah.
Oh, good, I'm fine. So how can I help you?
Oh, it's just more that everything just feels disorganized. That's all.
You mind if I look through your hard drive?
Okay.
Okay, let's start with your emails. You have several thousand emails regarding LA Weekly, but it looks like you haven't worked there in many years.
Oh, yeah. I think I was just saving those because I thought maybe I wrote something funny or something.
Yeah, there were some funny ones. I'd say there are about 86 that we should save. We can delete the rest.
Okay.
Okay?
Got it.
Okay. So before we address your organizational methods, I'd like to sort through your contacts. Oh, you have a lot of contact.
Hey, I did it! So anyways, wow, so we can't do that yet, can we?
No.
But it's not that far away, right? General artificial intelligence is difficult. It's a really hard one. But I wonder, it's going to be kind of hard to see this. How do I turn the projector off?
Yeah, there should be an AV view soft button there.
On the bottom left?
Screen, little screen there.
Oh, okay, gotcha, thank you.
It's light on.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, we can't get there yet, but we can almost do it. We can almost do it. So there is a group that's an open source group called Hugging Face. You probably heard of OpenAI. Hugging Face also is super rich and amazing what they do. They focus a lot on language, and GPT-2 also is a super interesting open source what's called the transformer language generator for AI. And you can type in a sentence and it'll write the next paragraph out for you, and you can't hardly tell that it's not human. Some of you guys may have heard of it. Super cool stuff. So there's an interaction of the two right now that is creating something that's really interesting. So here's what the project is now that I've set it up. What I'd like to do is make a thing called DNA-I, where you get to match with an AI personality that's going to chat with you, right? And here's how it's going to work. Who here's used Tinder? No. It's kind of like Tinder for these AI personalities. This platform is going to allow us to create a space where we can interact with AI personalities based on subjects that we're interested in. For example, Siri could be a part of this. For example, Hound could be a part of this. For example, there's a whole bunch of them that could be a part of this. Wells Fargo has a bot that's kind of interesting. Its interests are focused on banking. You could match with it if you thought that was interesting to you. So the idea behind it is we're going to generate a whole bunch of AI using this special DNA structure that's built by Hugging Face. which is a persona that is very simple inputs that set up the persona. This is all open source software, by the way, that we're going to use to set it up. And we're going to give an AI a persona. We're going to attach the history to it, and you're going to be able to chat with an AI in a certain range of subjects of interest that it's interested in. So you can match up with your AIs and talk about it in certain areas. So let me go through how it's going to work. First of all, we're going to generate faces. These aren't real people. They'll be generated by AI. This also is open source. It's out there. Super fun. Some of them are going to look really bad. So you'll swipe left on that. We're going to generate a name. We're going to allow it to have an owner. Wells Fargo, Apple, doesn't matter who it could be. You can claim an AI, basically. If you find an AI and it's got you're interested in, you can claim it and other people can like it too. If it's already claimed, you get to put your name on it. You can like it or dislike it, and it's going to have some interests, and those interests are going to be based on what we devise what we incorporate into the corpus. You guys will only be responsible for creating one AI and the platform that goes along with it. So if you swipe right, it goes into your likes, and you get to chat with it. Now, just because we give the AI a persona, a history, and you start to input with it and communicate with it, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good experience, right? So the randomly generated portion of this is what's going to make it interesting. So we are going to feed a majority of these PSU information so you can chat with your PSU bot or file. And then if we get to a stretch goal where we can add other corpuses, we will do that too. But this is all open source, so when we're done, we're going to give it to the world. All right, so here's the important part of it. You can chat with it, and then additionally, you can claim your AI if it's not already claimed, and other people end up chatting with it. The future, the idea is we want to provide a platform for AI to start to battle it out to see who's better, who's cooler in certain subject areas. Here's the problem we have currently with all of our assistants. You buy a box, like an Echo, and you just get Amazon. We need a new world where I can say, hey, Hound, what's happening with my whatever? Or, hey, Cortana, can you read my email to me, business email? So we want to level the playing field. This is going to give us the opportunity to level the playing field so that we have these AIs competing against each other to perform better for ourselves. And this piece of work right here that actually makes all of this chat happen and the DNA aspects happen, which I haven't explained this very well, and I apologize for it, but all this information, if you Google PyTorch pre-trained _BERT, it's all right there for you to check out. And I would love to experiment with adding more DNA, right? To see what sort of information it pulls. So here's how the system works. I think I have a couple more minutes, 2 more. Here's how the system works. Persona is based on DNA. I like hiking, I like to bank, I like these certain things, I like this stuff. The system in the background is already trained on GPT-2, in addition to some BERT stuff, which I'm not 100% sure of. I just learned Python, guys, so I'm not the primary coder that understands this stuff. But I do understand how it works. And then we can add a corpus on a certain area to that and help produce more streamlined text. You give an input, they get an output. Google this, you can go test it. You can test it and see it live right now. It's kind of cool. Some of it's kind of dumb. Some of it's kind of cool. The moment that you have it give you a response, you're like, huh? Freaks you out a little bit. Okay, so just to make sure that you know what's going to be expected of you, to be clear with that, okay, a platform. This platform, right here. Okay, maybe we do it on the web. Maybe we do it with mobile apps. I'm not sure yet. I got to talk to Warren to make sure if you guys choose this, we'll select the specific version so we know what it's going for, right? Because I know that's an important part of what you guys are trying to do for your careers. The next part, we're going to generate AI images. The third, we're going to implement this Hugging Face piece and create the DNA. And then we'll create a bot. Additionally, we'll create a bot that's focused specifically on PSU that people can communicate with and talk about PSU stuff. Now, do you have support? Yes, you do. There is one of my very close friends who's a engineer with like 16, 18 years of experience. Will be there to support on this project. And I also will be available for you to chat with. But like I said, all this is almost a mashup of stuff that's already out there. The most difficult part of this process will be creating the interface experience, okay? Which I don't see that as being like a hard thing to do. And maybe adding a corpus to GPT-2. But we don't necessarily have any problem with that. Okay, let's have questions for a couple minutes before I go. Anybody? Yeah.
Since we all can't do the same project, if we don't get selected for this project, we'll maybe want to do work with you in the future. Can we email you?
Yeah, of course you can email me. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, everybody's welcome to email me and say hi and do whatever. Yeah. Hey.
Have you done the market research to see if companies are interested in leveraging a platform like this?
No market research at all.
It seems like they generally like to be closed and have their own ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, if you look at Wells Fargo, for example, you go to their site and you can chat on their site with somebody that's going to be kind of helpful to them, right? So yes, there is walled gardens that have to do that. Each one of these groups have to that we deal with these groups. But we're also pushing the big manufacturers to try to integrate those, like car manufacturers trying to create things like AI radio. So I'm trying to hit it from both sides. You know what I mean? This is kind of fun to say like, hey, look at what we're trying to do. And even if we get a few sponsors to jump on later on to help perform, you know, as far as like, is there anybody out there that wants to put their bot on their chat with people? It kind of depends on what sort of usage you get. But look at PSU is giant.
So you're describing these AI chatbots. From my understanding, a lot of these use actual human chatbots that were, tied to a specific company providing support for years, and then they took those data sets, all those conversations, and they distilled them down into a training set, which was used to train this AI chatbot. So if I understand this correctly, you're trying to say that you're going to have little flavors of this one AI chatbot, so when a customer goes to a certain company for support, they can do this Tinder matching and get matched up to a version of a chatbot for that supporting that specific product, so that they can interact with it, or something more general than that?
More general. Yeah. Like we want Wells Fargo to get on here and say, okay, we have a bot now. This is our bot that we use. Our interests are banking. Our bot's interest is banking. And you want to chat with me about banking. Maybe there's something else that they're interested in too, right? So, and yeah, I do believe that there's a variety of different pieces that went into the chatbots themselves. Those conversations are one piece. And then additionally, the FAQ and all of the information that they have in the background as far as to build those. But we don't need that with this. If you try it out, you'll see what I'm saying. Any other questions? All right, guys. Oh, wait,
Yeah, so earlier you mentioned that your group, or that you regularly fly to Chicago every other week, and you have a person who might be able to support us over in Portland. So I was kind of wondering what might it look like in terms of contacting or getting more requirements from you?
Oh, yeah, okay, well, we can build a requirements document if that's what it is, or if you guys, I think you have team leads, and your team leads do a thing where you gather requirements or something like that. That's not a problem. We can have a face-to-face. I am gone every other week, but we could do a call in the evening, etc. They're 2 hours ahead in Chicago, so that means work stops at 3 o'clock here. Makes it a little bit more easy. All right. Is that all right? Yeah, so just feel free to contact me, Brittany. Lauren, thank you a lot for your time.
Interesting.
Well, my Instagram. But this is for the requirements document right here.
For me, this is
Definitely interested, but I rated the project as like not a great project, but I'm interested.
I bet I do. There are so many.
Yeah, sure. Some of this though, I have like zero. But there's plenty where I'm like,
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Warren, for considering us again. So my name is Hector Dominguez. I am part of the Smart Cities team at the City of Portland. We have been customers of Capstone projects for a while, and actually what I'm going to be teaching is kind of the next step for the last two Capstone projects, and we are building on top of that, so that's really exciting. So Smart Cities is a program. We are hosted at the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability that aims to support city operations around emerging technologies, developing some policy, working with city bureaus in general to leverage more the information that the city is using to do city businesses in general. So you can see our website, smartcitypdx.com. Let me see. So you can see it's relatively a small team. Kevin Martin, Christine Henry, and myself. I'm the Open Data Coordinator. Within the Smart Cities, we have a number of projects. One of those is our Portland Urban Data Lake. And we are, actually, that project has been in a close collaboration with some of the computer science professors as well. And we are trying to build a resource, a community resource, a regional resource for civic data in general. So it's taking some time for us to have it ready. And that's going to be part of what I'm going to be teaching. I'm actually teaching two projects. And well, let's start with that. So some of the things that we are doing, by the way, just making a commercial here, is that we are having a lot of work around surveillance technologies, particularly facial recognition. If you are interested, we are a work session with City Council this coming Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. So the city is actually leading a lot of the conversations on developing more responsible technologies that people can trust to respect people's privacy and protect those who are vulnerable in general. Anyway, so the first project that I'm going to be teaching is a data-driven decision system, basically for working around performance measures in the city. So the last two projects that we had, the last year project, for instance, was around developing data catalogs. So that was a great proof of concept. We had a product that helped us to pitch the importance of having data catalogs in the city. And the next one was on performance measures. So we got a product also, proof of concept, that we could use and show to some of the people leadership to prove that we can actually develop something that can guide decision making throughout the city. So now we want to build on top of that and then start automating those two different tools. So we have a bunch of data that the city collects. We know where they are. We know what we need to measure. But now we want to develop that system that helps us to automate all that decision-making process. So one of the general goals for performance measures is that, so we identify a problem in the city, we start collecting data around that, let's say potholes in streets. So who's collecting potholes? Well, the Bureau of Transportation, for instance, or through people reporting that, or through social media, whatever the way that people are reporting potholes. So we are trying to collect and then synthesize all of that and aggregate some of that and making that ready. Then we need to see where are those potholes and how that's going to be used through all this process. Having a track system to understand how those issues are going to be automated and so on, and then create something iterative there that is actually getting better and better and better and better and so on. And like that, the city has currently about 500 different performance measures. So you can imagine what we are doing. So from transportation, energy, emergency response, police, public safety, civic life in general. So every single bureau has their own performance measures, and we are trying to build a pipeline for automation and all that. We already have some things on that. So the way that we are trying to put that together is basically building this centralized place where we can start putting all that data and then start getting every one of these business intelligence measures, which are KPIs, available, so in a process that we can get our city commissioners, so elected officials, understand what's happening in the city, all the leadership in different bureaus, also understand what's happening in the city, getting into there ready for them to see like how many incidents have happened for the last 24 hours, for instance, how much community engagement is happening in specific issues and so on. So in order to get there, we are building the basic layers to support all that. And basically, that's it. So I'm going to explain a little bit more. We have our Portland Urban Data Lake as a resource. That's a cloud enterprise service that is hosted on Azure. If you participate on that, we can use that, or we can also create containers or something that helps us just to put that together. Some of our internal developers are using Airflow for automation. Also, we want this to be compatible with the new version of the Portland website, which is going to be portland.gov. Right now it's portlandoregon.gov, so we are taking out the Oregon. So it's portland.gov, and that's actually developing on Drupal. And what we want to do is that anyone who just goes there, do a search, automatically can get all these different information through the Drupal search engine, for instance. So making those layers compatible. And as I understand how we have been working in the past with all these different teams is that the first term is just for setting and identifying all those requirements. So we would work together. This project is being sponsored by the Bureau of Emergency Communications and our